because I know somewhere deep down in my heart, I still love you.
Degen Trading.
One BTC and 32 ETH.
Welcome back, hard forkers, to episode 4 of 1 BTC and 32 ETH. Stefano coming to us from the most famous kitchen in crypto. How are you?
Hello. All good, all good.
Very good. Where's Johnny?
Here's Johnny.
Excellent, guys. What a week. Definitely the most exciting by far since we started making this show. To anyone that's new, effectively what we're doing here is we review projects, then we do follow-ups, what's happening in that project and how we've traded it. Those projects give us a very small donation so we can play around with the functionality of the tokens, and obviously to enable what effectively is a competition amongst the three of us to see who can then trade their way to 1 Bitcoin or the equivalent of 32 ETH. But first, people, meme of the week. Brilliant, Jordan. Brilliant. Actually, quick mention from you. I think you're involved in some form of meme competition right now. You want to quickly tell us about that?
Yeah, there's a meme tournament, Meme Madness. So we're doing 32 brackets, 32 different communities, and the communities submit the best memes. And then there'll be a voting process, and it'll get whittled down. And then the top 10 projects, BONK is sponsoring minting those memes into NFTs.
Yep.
And then there's a BONK giveaway. So if you know a project that you love, you think they got strong meme game, check the tweet. There's all the information, the guidelines of what you have to do. So you can win free BONK, you can win an NFT. So there'll be 10 different new NFTs, limited editions out.
Awesome.
Fun one, lots of community involvement, which is a key thing for crypto.
Yeah, shout out to the BONK community. They've probably been the most engaging with us since we've started making this show. Appreciate that.
BONK.
Appreciate the nice little game that you gave me this week too. We'll get to that in a moment. Just one other thing before we do that, people. We have a pretty epic prize that each month we're going to give away a gold-plated, preloaded crypto debit card. You have to be a subscriber to this channel to be in the mix for that. Full details will be available.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the new Embly cards are going out this week. I think we've got a gold one on the way to you in Bangkok, Mr. Gonzo.
Wow, gold card. Oh, yeah.
And, certainly helping out with a bit of work for us with those guys. Most appreciated. Yeah, so subscribe now, people. You have to be a subscriber to this channel to be in the mix for that. We'll let you know the other ways where you can increase your chances, but effectively it's going to be following us on social media, so those links are below as well. If you don't already follow
tell
us
about the money. How much money there's going to be loaded?
How much is going to be on the card?
Yeah.
The card is going to have a value of $350.
Card is what, 300, and that comes preloaded with 50, right?
Well, it's gold plated, so I've got to figure out how much money is actually on the card and what the value of the gold is. So I need to clarify that. I'm heading over to the Embly office tomorrow, so I don't really want to get into the exact specifics today because it's all been organized tomorrow.
I'm pretty sure it's $50. It's standard, like all the.
Okay, but we're going to put a little bit of money on there as well for the winner.
Ooh, even better.
Yeah, from courtesy of the hard forking team, people. We love you.
See?
Yeah.
Golden hard fork.
Lovely audience. That's what we do for you if you follow this channel. I think we've got some other pretty cool giveaways coming up as well with some of these projects that we've been following. So make sure you subscribe. Do it right now and smash those likes.
Bonk
Okay, guys.
those-
Okay, let's get into the nitty gritty. Second half of the show, people, we will be reviewing our new project, which this week is Axie Infinity, something that the boys both love, and it's going to be very interesting for me to learn about it in the coming weeks. That's coming up in the second half of the show. But now, guys, let's have a look at the leaderboard and talk through our trades, what we've in fact been doing. We've had some big changes. Right, Jordan,
Yeah.
you are going first.
Cool.
Because I guess you are sort of the king of the bonk, head bonker. You are bonkers.
Mother
I will
bonk.
let you talk through. How about you talk us through what you've done in the last week?
All right. We'll start from the top. My Prime XBT account. No copy trading. I was doing a little bit of margin. I had a ETH long and a Bitcoin long. Wrecked. I got stopped out. No good. Ooh. On my Ether wallet, I made a couple moves. I was getting a bit twitchy, sitting there watching everything just sideways. So I dumped my DMG, mainly because one, I needed gas to make some other trades, and I've found that if I've been waiting, basically at this time most days, which is like 7, 8 in the morning in Asia here, the gas goes way down. So that's pretty much my trading time. Yeah. So I dumped DMG and I bought some other stuff. Oh yeah, I bought some Unitrade just like 2 hours ago, an hour ago. They just released a new update about their new platform that's going to launch on the 30th. And that's going to include some really cool features. They have like order books and an aggregated page so you can see the big movers and stuff. You're going to get flat fees for using it. So it's quite exciting. The announcement, everybody in the community was excited about it, and it started moving up quite quick. So I jumped in that one, seized the opportunity. One of the other things that I did this week, total degen move, degen racer. There was this crazy project that came out called Unikitties, and they had this insane yield farming going on where it was like 5,000% or something. And this was just after I sold my DMG, and I got a message about it. I checked it out real quick. My 100 Uniswap that we got from our awesome airdrop, I staked them. It cost me like I think in and out it cost me $15 in gas, and I got like 5,000 meow, they're called. $ meow.
As you can see, people, there is a new project on there, and I want to give a massive shout out to Jordan. He was the organised one amongst us and got his competition wallet set up. Stefano and I were literally hours late, and we missed out on the issuance of 400 uni tokens. So Jordan has very kindly shared those with the two of us for the purposes of an even playing field, so to speak. Move on to talking what's happened with BONK. Obviously, I want to be doing something with that. So, yeah, Jordan, what happened there, man?
It was time. They had a couple big pieces of news. I think what sparked it was the partnership with YFL, which is Yearn Finance Link. I know. It's like the Link community got together and they're building their own exchange. Some of the Link whales, right, and the coders, they built their own DeFi project, and they've teamed up with BONK because of the NFT minter that they have coming out later this month. So BONK has always been focused on NFTs, and now the NFTs are kind of taken off a little bit. It's like, oh, we've just exited DeFi season, and like tomorrow is NFT season. It's crazy.
Okay, so wrap up your wallet for us, and we'll move on to Stefano.
So I just sold some of my BONK dividends because you remember in the first week, as soon as I got my BONK, I staked them. I paid the gas for it, and it paid off. So I actually caught the top perfectly. At one point, it was like $1.60, and I think so. I was very happy with that. Because your dividends, you don't have to stake them; you just have to collect them. And then once I collected them, sold. So it gave me some extra ETH. So between that and my DMG,
Yep.
and some capital to make some other trades. Just waiting on Link to move still. Pomp did a nice little bump during the week because they got listed on BitMax, which is quite a good exchange. There was a good day of gains, and then it's just kind of still sideways, but it looks like it's entering an uptrend. So got that staked as well. Got some more tokens there. So waiting for a big move to sell that one if that comes around.
Excellent. So there you go, people. You can see the percentage change in Jordan's wallet there. And just a reminder, if you don't know, we publish our wallet addresses. So you can literally, it's all out in the open here. We'll be doing updates on trades we make and projects we like. Stefano, are you ready to talk us through your magic for the week?
Sure. I don't know if there are any magic, to be honest, because I think that this week I'm the bigger loser compared to everybody else. So wrapping up pretty much like all the positions, everything is the same. Didn't still have like the ETH where they are, the BTC on Prime where they are, the tokens that of the other ERC20 are Ethereum and so on, everything as it is. So no changes over there, still holding. Now, where the reason is that I'm saying that I'm the bigger. Yeah, go for
How's your
it.
liquidity pool going with BONK?
That's exactly what I wanted to talk about and why I'm the bigger loser this week. Now, one thing, I know that like in the previous videos, someone pointed out, Stefano doesn't know how the liquidity pool works on Pump. So, let's clarify, huh? Shall we?
There we go. Spin yourself, man.
So, no, I'm kidding, obviously. I love the fact that like the community is like teaching and like explain things because that's like super helpful because again I'm trying to learn as anybody else on that specific liquidity pool. So where are we? I made so far in the 10 days that I start the liquidity providing 40 PEMP, which it's an improvement compared to like what we were getting before. That was like those 2 pumps per day. Now we're around 4 pumps per day, so it's good. However, and again, please explain this to me because the tables still show that I should receive 10 PEMPs per day. So yeah, it's improving, but it still doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, where things make sense to me, and that's why I lost, is that when you're putting money in a liquidity pool, especially like on Uniswap, you're splitting that 50-50. So I put BONK and I put Pump. Now, the problem is that BONK was skyrocketing during the week. And so the liquidity pool was basically selling my BONK to match up the ratio 50-50 all the time. So out of like the 600 BONK that I put into the liquidity pool, I'm probably left with 200 of those. And now I basically have like a bunch of Pump. So out of us 3, I'm the biggest holder of Pump right now. But yeah, that's pretty much like the only thing. Obviously, I missed out on that crazy ride of BONK, but
BONK.
overall, I'm fine. I mean, I'm happy with how it's turning out on my experiment on the liquidity pool of Pump. So cool.
Okay, Jordan.
I think we need to talk about BONK staking because in this last week, last 3 days, you know, it got so much volume, and the staking is dependent on the volume, which has been amazing. You know, the first month, you know, I was staking, you're getting like 1% a week or something like that, right? Really low, but been getting like 3, 4, 5% a day. You know, it's just like the big buys, boom, oh, 3 more BONK, boom, big buy, 4 more BONK, it sells, 5 more BONK. It's like, whoa, it's just like tick, 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 tick. So as the market picks up and it's getting more volume, all the stakers are getting more and more rewards. And you can see people like, whoa, this is crazy. I've never seen this before. So it's a very unusual spin on staking.
So to give some numbers in perspective, back in, you know, a couple of weeks ago, we were having like daily volumes on around like 20, 30,000. And in some cases, it went as low as like $3,000, $4,000 per 24 hours volume. That was basically like converting in around like between a 0.2 and a 0.3% return per day on your staking. While yesterday, for example, yesterday alone, where we crossed the 3 million in 24 hours volume, the staking reward was 5% in a day. So,
bing.
you know, there is a lot happening over there.
BONK.
It is. And the thing is that, like, what Jordan was saying is 100% correct. It's structured in a way that, like, it's all based on the volume. So more the project picks up, more the rewards are going to be better at that point. So yeah, you know, it's kind of like a good saving accounts that just like print money nonstop.
BONK goes brrr.
Pretty much, yes.
Okay, Stefano, let's jump back to your leaderboard and round off what you've done.
Well, my leaderboard is pretty much that. There are no movements, no changes. I just gained like those extra PAMP from the liquidity pool, and that's pretty much it.
You got your unis.
Oh yeah, and got my uni, obviously. That's true. But I'm holding them. Like, and I say that on the previous video as well. I'm 100% holding my uni for sure.
You're not thinking about yield farming them?
Not yet. I was thinking about like maybe start farming uni, not using the uni for farming. I'm still not there yet because like I want to move like ETH around and so on. And I'm waiting for entry positions on a lot of things. I just like don't want to like stake that and then like being stuck at one specific moment with way gas price at like 700 or stuff like that. I kind of just like want to avoid the situation.
Yeah, Jordan, thanks once again for sharing that with us. And in the second half of the show, people were actually doing a bit of a deeper dive into Uniswap, what it is and what we think of it. So strongly advise you to hang around for that, or you can skip to it. The timestamps are below. So, guys, let's have a look at my moves of the week.
Big trade.
Mixed bag. I obviously thought I was a bit of a genius the other week, making a 70% gain on Ampleforth. And what did Sean do? He went into another Ampleforth trade, so he's had his pants around his ankles for the last week, losing money on that one, but I'm hanging in there. Much to Stefano's amusement, I may well top it up.
Double down.
So
Double
yeah,
down and
it's been a little losing trade for me, but obviously I'm still significantly up on the overall trade on that one. Obviously, a nice little pump in the wallet from having those unicoins in there. The other trade that I made yesterday, I sold half of my BONK and made a nice little gain on that. My Prime XBT, I'm getting slapped around a wee bit there at the moment. I'm copy trading, and look, the copy trade has had a good couple of weeks. It's on the improve. I'm hanging there on that, but overall, that particular wallet is down high 30% for me. I'm just looking for the exact figure. I think it's down about 38%. So there you go. So that's what the show's all about, people. We follow these projects every week. We'll update you on what has happened, any major changes, any announcements, etc. BONK. Wow, what a week for.
Well, we were while we were filming, somebody dumped 62 ETH worth.
I didn't see Stefano's hands move, so we know it was.
Yeah. No, this guy bought at 140. This guy bought at 140, and he ended up selling at like 45 cents was his final price.
Wow. That's why it was not me.
Idiot. Like a 3x loss. All he had to do was hold another couple hours.
He's probably watching. Careful what you say.
You were talking about that, but yesterday I shared that with you guys. There was this trade. I was laughing so hard. I saw this guy buying $16.3 worth of token. No, there was another one. Sorry. The best one was like $5 and something worth of BONK on a trade from ETH to BONK, and paid something like $15 or $17 in gas fees.
Well, I mean, it went up 500% in the weeks.
Hey,
yeah, I mean, like
so he won at what?
5, didn't it, man?
the thing is that, like, why entering a position like that in the first place? Like, it makes no sense. You're paying more in fees than what you're actually getting out of that.
Yeah. Look, we hope to
Is it possibly
educate a lot of
bot?
people with the show. It's what this content's about. And, you know, I like the attitude that the guys take to it, you know, where you don't need to be coming into this market with huge amounts of money, something we're going to talk about in the second half of the show. So shall we get to that second half, guys? Any sort of final comments before we move into the project reviews?
What a
Game on, boys. Game on. Now we're into
Yeah,
it.
getting exciting, eh?
Yeah.
Really is. Really is. Some major movements in the wallet. So
Fuck yeah.
stay with us, people.
It's crazy. All the curveballs, too.
What's that?
This is just some major curveballs, you know, like crypto. It's never a dull moment.
No, there's not. What the hell's next? God knows. But look, just before we go into the review section, just a reminder to subscribe to the channel. We've got some great prizes coming up, some big news on what we're doing with harder forking as well in the next week for you. And look, if you're watching this and you'd like to see a specific project, or you are in fact a founder of a project, there's an email below. You can get in touch with us. We're always looking for interesting projects to cover. We hope that you're enjoying the show so far. We're 4 weeks in. Please share it around with your friends. Let them know we're here. And yes, you know, it's nice for us to sort of see what communities are sharing the content and getting behind it. And certainly it's been that BONK community over the last week. So cheers
Props
to
to
you guys
Pirate
once again.
Chain. Props to
and
Pharaoh.
Pirate Chain as well, actually. Yeah, a lot of people having a look at that content from that community. So yeah, shout out to those guys.
Where's my pumpers at? We want to see more of those guys around here.
Yeah, true. Actually, a lot of people watch the DMG long form video. Oh, that reminds me. Any of these projects that we cover, there's always links in the description for the long form videos. We do long interviews with all these projects. That's all there for you as well. So anything that you want to learn more about, look in the links below. It's all there. Okay, guys, let's move into the review section now, eh?
Sure.
We might be wearing different clothes for this bit. We'll see you there. All right, hard forkers, we're going into part 2 of the show, which is our project review section. As we mentioned earlier, we're going to do a bit of a dive into Uniswap. But first up, Axie Infinity. Am I saying it correctly, Stefano? Is it Axie or X?
Axie.
Axie Infinity. I'm fascinated by this. I don't know, I'm not a gamer, but we have been looking at blockchain gaming recently. This is one that Stefano is a huge fan of, as you will see if you watch the long form video. I thought he wanted to leap through the screen and give the guy a big kiss. Like a teenage girl at an Elvis concert. Fantastic. So look, let's have a quick look at the clip, and then we'll find out why Stefano loves this so much, and Jordan and I will give you our thoughts. So here's the short clip of that.
Users of applications have always added value, created value, but they've historically seen none of that value. That's all gone to, you know, investors. And we just try and do our best to attract like the right people and build a strong base. We've been building throughout the bear market, and we're getting ready for the launch of the governance token. A lot of amazing experiments have been, you know, going on recently. Like, yeah, I don't know what you saw, but like, you know, because our game is the only game where every single player was using Uniswap, like on a daily basis, almost, right? Yes. So we're getting to that point where it's like, you know, they don't even understand or need to understand or know what the infrastructure that they're interacting with is, right? It's just like, yeah, they see in this guide, like, okay, you earn this potion, like go to this thing and click some buttons and then you get money, right? So we thought this idea of, you know, actually owning your digital assets, being able to sell them to anyone, anywhere in the world, basically having true digital property rights for your game assets. We thought that was revolutionary and would fit really well with an actual game. We wanted to start with a strong base, right? Like we wanted these characters that you really connected with, that you thought were beautiful, that you know, kind of saw as your own pets. I think one of the beauties of Axie is that, you know, there's a constantly ever expanding, you know, list of games and experiences that you can kind of enter into, right? So we have a battle game, which is, you know, kind of like similar to our card system, We also, you can breed your Axies. We have a land game coming. Axies are beautiful. People want to, do more and more with their Axies over time. And I think that's at the heart of the project. It's called Axie Infinity, right? Because I think that that gets to the idea that, the possibilities are infinite, right? There's always, more and more things that more and more fun and utility that we can bake into these tokens. It's like, we're not just a gaming project. We're also, in my opinion, art project, right? They're just the best artists in Vietnam, basically, which is where most of our team is from. Huge collectors market is really a testament to like how amazing the art is. There are some very collectible Axies out there. The basically small love potions are a ERC20 token that we've introduced. And basically, they are to make sure that when you need small love potions to breed Axies. So this ensures that in order to actually create a new Axie, you can't just do it at will, right? You have to actually, someone has to have put some time and effort into actually playing the game. And so we want to make sure that the Axie population, grows at a kind of healthy rate. So we introduced these small love potions into the game. You can earn them by playing. And so one of the things is that, gas recently has gotten really high. But I think it's with like the whole DeFi boom, basically, people saw SLP as like I guess like a reasonably interesting token, started buying it, providing a lot of liquidity. The supply has been increasing pretty quickly because the price has been high because of a lot of liquidity, people trading, people speculating on it. So basically what we want to do is make sure that, so the limit for the PvE rewards was to make sure that, we don't basically, end up with huge amounts of SLP, which once gas drops or when we have our gas drops or when we release our sidechain Ronin, we don't have like so much SLP out there that it just like leads to a huge inflation rate of Axies. SLP or small love potions, they're not our native governance token. They're not the token that we're looking to basically accrue value to in the universe. So these while we look at the supply and we look at the emission rate, there's no max supply for this. And it's like, the liquidity providers are kind of like subsidizing like play to earn within the game. And we will have a governance token that's coming out, and that will have a max supply. So there'll be staking, fee sharing, governance, all baked into the token.
Stefano, clearly we're going to put you up first. You're a massive fan of this game and of blockchain gaming. I'm not a gamer. I have been fairly convinced by chats we've been having for a while about the potential of the space as an investment opportunity. So we'll get to that in a moment. But look, I'm going to let you do the talking first up. Tell us why you love this so much.
I love it for two reasons. The first one, it's a fun game. Like it hands down, like one of the big limitations of blockchain games right now is that they're kind of boring, or like, they got like very repetitive pretty quickly. And Axies kind of like nailed that. Now the PvE, the adventure part, which is kind of like the farming part where you just like make the money and so on, tends to get like a little bit boring pretty quickly. Let's be honest on that, because it's always the same. But the PvP, when you're like fighting other people and other players.
PvP?
PvP is player versus player.
Okay.
So it's when you're playing against someone else.
Yep.
And the PvP gets so much magic and fun to me because one, you're fighting against other people. And obviously if you're competitive, it's cool because you want to win. But in general, like all the strategy and the thoughts that goes between like your team and the opponent team and trying to understand what the other player is going to do so you can prepare your turn according to that. It's lovely. And obviously like the good part is that you're getting tokens for that, which brings me to the second point. It's a cool game, but what really, really amazed me so much about that is the fact that personal life, obviously, I have people that comes from like very, very poor countries. And I see like now that they're in Singapore, how they're treated, what they're earning compared to like the rest of society. And in general, like how they're still smiling and feel blessed because compared to where they're coming from, it's such a huge spike and improvement. We mentioned that in previous videos. A lot of people in Southeast Asia, but in other countries around the world, lives on 40 USD per month of salary. It's bad. Like, let's be honest on that. We're usually like talking about thousands, tens of thousands in salaries. These people live with $40. The fact that there is a game that allows you to earn more than those $40, to me, it's amazing. It's what blockchain really is all about, is that universal basic income type of model, is the fact that like you don't have to ask permission to people to work, to get a job, to feed your family. Something like that is really like you have a phone, you have a laptop, whatever hardware you have, you can download that and bam, start earning money. So the logic that there is behind for me is so close, but it's so important and unique because it can change so many things in the poverty level that of course I'm going to be all for it. Of course I love something like that because it's amazing.
Yeah, look, we've discussed on numerous occasions whether, obviously we started the show with one Ethereum in our personal wallets to trade, and there wasn't a hell of a lot of action in the first few weeks because it was very difficult to make a move with the gas fees, etc. And I proposed that we bump that up to an ETH each month. And you said to me at the time, no, the show should be demonstrating that crypto at this point is still very much about you can be massively rewarded for being that early adopter, for getting in there and trying something. We've obviously just seen that with the free tokens given away by Uniswap. I guess what you're saying here is there is that great opportunity with something like Axie as well, where that barrier to entry for anybody to get in there and earn money from the game is there. I loved what the guy said in the interview that the idea of what work is changing. You can actually make an income from this, and over the last month, you've been telling me about these people in the Philippines, I think it was, that have actually, are making a living out of this game. So sorry to cut you off, but yeah, I mean, that to me is what sort of sparked my interest in what's going on here.
It's 100% true, because obviously like you have a lot of options to like make an income playing the game. You have like the PvP, you have the PvE, you can breed the little monsters, so you can create new ones and you can resell that. They're gonna like launch the land, which is obviously like if you want to learn more about like economics about like virtual land, decentraland, crypto voxel, the sandbox, all of those apps are like and softwares and solutions are pretty famous for that, where lands goes like easily for like $1,000 and so on. So there is a lot of mechanics here and there, but even if we're like just staying at like the super bare bones, which is like the daily task, which ideally they would take you like 1 hour to complete that. So you can have like, your morning coffee, you're going to work, you're in a train, you're just chilling on the balcony, whatever you're doing. And you're bringing home like pretty much the like $4.50, $5 a day by doing that. If you're considering the value of Axie of the small love potion right now, which is around like 3 cents or something like that. So, $4.50, $5 a day, I know that it seems not crazy. But we need to put things in perspective for a little bit, because that means that like in a month, you're getting $150. If we're looking at like the value of Ethereum right now, that's basically almost half an ETH per month. Tons of people, and that's exactly what you're saying. And like with the conversation that we had about like the starting balance and so on, like tons of my friends are like, oh, I wish I bought Bitcoin at that point. I wish I bought Ethereum when it was lower. We all wish that we bought before. Because
lots of people saying they wish they'd use Uniswap before the 1st of September.
That's also true, indeed. But the point of that is that like, you're doing like half a ETH a month. It means that in a year time, you're getting like a 6 ETH. We're doing this competition to show that like 32 is the goal, to actually start having that staking and so on. Like, it's true. We all want to like be rewarded on a 24 hours thing. We want to like start something and get immediately to the end of that. But building wealth in general, like building things, takes time. It takes like an insane amount of time, and it goes like a little by little and a step by step. And then you start having the stories of like people making like $100,000 in 24 hours. But, you know, 32, it's not exactly like a 5 years plan, but like just by playing a game, simply playing a game 1 hour a day, in 5 years, you got that target of 32 ETH.
Sure.
Yes, 5 years might be a lot, but it's free. It's a game. Like, let's put things in perspective on that.
So from my perspective,
there's a bit of a buy-in though to the game, right? Like, you have to buy some Axies to start.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like you can just sign up and start making money. You have to put a bit of money in to start with. You have to buy a couple Axies, right? And then once you get those guys, then you can start playing and making money.
Well,
so
not anymore actually, because yes, I mean that's a starting point, and that's very true.
Why didn't you show me that before?
Well, you bought like some nice Axie.
No, I did.
But no, basically what happened
I'll just tell the audience that I've had to endure 3 days of Telegram messages from these two trading. It's just been Axie Central here, and obviously BONK. But yes, sorry, Stefano.
So to put things like on how does it work, you need 3 animals or 3 monsters, 3 Axie to start the game, because that's the minimum amount that you need for creating a team and so starting playing the game.
Yeah.
Now the prices of every Axie it's changed. It might vary a lot. You know, you might have like an Axie that is valued at 0.01 ETH and another one that is valued at like 75 ETH. Like it really depends. But in general, I would say that like if you want to create a team that can perform quite okay, half a ETH, a 0.5 ETH should actually be like pretty alright.
Okay.
Now let's cut even that line from the part of being like, oh, I don't have 0.5 ETH or I don't have $180 to put into an investment to start playing the game, even if it makes me money back in return.
Yeah.
Now, there is one person, and it actually came up on the interview as well, but there is this guy that is creating the so-called Axie Scholarship. And what this guy is doing is telling you, you don't have your Axie, not a problem. I give you the 3 Axie, and in return, what you do is that you give me 15% of what you earn. But I let you start completely for free.
Right.
So even that part of like, what's the initial capital? If you want right now, you basically have solution to start at 0.
Okay.
It's really just a matter of like, are you willing of putting like some effort on doing that and making money?
Hopefully we're not starting from 0 on this show, and the guys come through with the donation for us to actually show you the functionality of what you can do with this. I think my personal competition wallet at the moment to personally be buying in. I'm not a gamer, so I to get in there and game with it all day. But yeah, hopefully they come through with that for us, and we can show you next week what the various options are. But look, a couple of questions on that front. Obviously, we've spoken about this project at length over maybe a month or two now. And you've obviously highlighted reasons why you think for somebody like myself it might be a good investment. You know, we've discussed the purchase of land, etc. It's been fascinating for me to really understand this NFT space, and ultimately what I'm sort of seeing here with an opportunity like this is effectively it's going down that route of owning your own gaming assets. So it's effectively really big picture. You're talking about digital property rights. Mm-hmm. So yes, we've spoken about people in the in the third world being able to make an income from this. For other investors here, this to me looks like the opportunity could be mammoth, given a bit of time. And I think we're very early to the game here. So that's what I'm very, very excited about. Great opportunity to really understand what NFTs are and what's happening in this space. And to me, this is an excellent project to have as a bit of a use case over how long this show will take. Hopefully, this show isn't wrapped up in 2 weeks and one of us gets to 32 ETH. Slow down, bonkers.
To the moon.
The other thing I kind of like about this is. In the long form interview, and I strongly encourage everyone to watch it. The guy talks about the layer 2 solution they're looking at called Ronin. It seems like they've got a very diverse team of infrastructure people, of artists, some very good business people as well, obviously. So, yeah, look, I like this project. Hurry up and send us some Axies, Axie Infinity, and we'll, it'd be great to be following this on the weekly. Jordan, I've done all the talking here. I'm sure you've got plenty to say on this project. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, I like. So far, so good. Yeah, I mean, I've spent, like you were talking about with me and Stefano, he's helped me get there and understand a lot of stuff, kind of like, 5 pages into the beginner's manual.
5,000 Telegram messages a day, people. I've been watching them.
I told him, this
between
is kind of
BONK and Axie, my God, there's a bell going off on my laptop every 10 seconds.
Yeah, because I wanted to, after reviewing the project and hearing what Jeff had to say, I figured there's 2 things that I want to do. I want to get my kid hooked on it, and I want to breed. So those are the 2 ways that I think that I can make some cash off of Axie. So Stefano helped me build a team, and then I bought some SLP tokens in my personal wallet, and the team that I bought is for my personal use. But like Stefano said, it was 0.5 ETH is a pretty good budget. I went a bit over. I spent 0.35 on the SLP tokens, and you need those to breed them, right? And then I spent 0.55 on 3 Axies. And
okay, well, let's see if we can actually go through these type of things with our competition wallets. Hopefully, as soon as next week.
That Jordan has basically created the definition of child slavery.
I didn't want to say that, Stefano. I'm glad you brought that to the attention of Child Services. We'll put his address below. Go and pick his kid.
I battle with my daughter all the time for waiting hours on the iPad.
Jordan, your best line of defense is to say nothing right now.
I can instill some value in her and show her how to make some money. I'll give her some Axies, and like you said, the guy with the scholarship, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to...
Giving your daughter a scholarship. Excellent. Yeah. Look, I think, wonderful love fest. We're clearly all interested in this project. We hope to obviously cover it on a weekly basis. That's the goal here with what we're doing. So without really getting into too much what we're doing with our private investments in Axie, we'll see you back here next week, people, and we'll hopefully show you what we're doing with the competition wallet and the Axies. A lot to get through. So how should we move on to just huge news this week? Our Jordan, as we mentioned earlier, has very kindly shared he basically was organized and set up his competition wallet. Stefano and I were 7 hours too late, and we didn't get the Uniswap rewards. So thank you, Jordan, once again. We've got those in the wallet now. Let's have a bit of a delve into what Uniswap is and how we see that sort of shaping up moving forward. Obviously, it's a governance token. So utility of a governance token, in my opinion, possibly questionable.
Depends on how big you are.
Yeah. I think you need. It's well into the millions of dollars worth to have any voting rights with this particular token. So your average, so it's probably only you, Stefano, that can make some calls.
Not even me, unfortunately.
Oh, really? Close.
Well, now that he's dipping, maybe.
Oh, yeah, true. So, look, I guess obviously we've sort of said what we're doing with our current holdings earlier in the show. Longer term, Stefano, give us your thoughts first on Uniswap and what you see happening with it at a macro level.
Uniswap to me is what blockchain and exchange and trading should be as a definition, no KYC, no AML, no frozen of the funds, no question asked, total freedom. Like, it's awesome. Like, to be honest, like we also spoke about that, like when Lisa was here. It's true, you don't have like the stop losses, the take profits and all of those things. It's not like an advanced tool, but for the Uniswap, it says the name, like it's a swapping system. You don't like prepare super crazy trades or anything like that. It's just like to enter and exiting a position.
Yep.
But it works. It works brutally well. It does exactly everything that it's supposed to do. And in terms of volumes, like depends on the days, but like they also got like on bypassing for like few occasions, models at platforms like Coinbase.
Yep.
Like it's not like just like an opinion. It's like the market is all on Uniswap, obviously.
Yeah, Stefano, back to you in a moment. But Jordan, you introduced me to Uniswap initially, and I'm sure many other people who are probably pretty pleased with you right now, like myself. Thoughts, sir?
Yeah, it's great. You know, and it seems like the tip of the iceberg, because, you know, version 3 of Uniswap is coming within a couple days. And with that, they said that like it's going to put version 2 to shame. So a lot of the bad stuff that Stefano,
Do you think they'll reward people? Do you think they'll reward?
You know, all that stuff is supposed to be taken care of. You mean the people that have from version 1 to version 2? Who knows? I mean, they did some crazy stuff like airdropping like millions of dollars on people that were using it. I mean, who knows? I mean, and that really put all that sushi FUD and all that CDFI stuff to bed. Like, where's that stuff now, right? Yeah. Those guys are all like, ooh, gone, right? Who's talking about Binance bullshit, DeFi shit, and sushi swap now? Like, all that stuff tanked. And Uniswap, it's still sticking around. It's holding its value. You know, everything's bleeding pretty good. But Uniswap's, you know, it's still holding up, man. So I think
I find it interesting that they've got your total of Uni now when you open.
Yeah, well, I mean, that tells you the value of it, right? I mean, think about Binance. When Binance came around, right? The utility of it. If they would have waited till they had, you know, $1 billion in volume daily before they broke out that token.
Yeah.
Like, you know, hey, everybody's using Binance now. Here, we're going to give you a token where you can get discounts and cuts on the fees, right?
Yeah.
Man, that shit would have. So we're just seeing the same idea, just done in a different order, right?
Yep.
Built the utility first, figured out what's working, what's not working, the liquidity pools, the problems with the liquidity pools, the impermanent losses, right? Stefano, you were talking about the percentage that's built in already, right? Mm-hmm. I didn't really catch exactly what you were saying there. What was that again? Can you go over it?
On which one of the many things?
Of Uniswap, you said that there was a built-in percentage already that nobody was talking about.
Oh yeah. So basically, like the code has a 0.3 or a 0.5% of fees that is supposed to be taken. So right now, like, you know that you pay like the 0.3% that goes like to the liquidity providers. But there is also like a line of code that is written there directly that are the fees for Uniswap. And it's already there. Now, there is one thing on that I think is going to be like a very, very difficult problem to solve. Adding that specific fee might, in the eyes of the SEC, put the Uni token as a security. And I think that like they want to like wait a little bit. Like the code is there. They can literally just have like a vote on the governance now, approve that, and bam, it will be up technically.
Yeah.
But
Stefano, can I just ask you a really quick question here? Because obviously these governance tokens are popping up on the regular now. What are your thoughts around the fact, I mean, obviously we should get a lawyer on to discuss this, but to me it almost seems like these governance tokens have, you know, they've put it up against the Howey test, which is how the Americans or the SEC assess whether something is a security or not. Obviously, you know, 2017, we had all that chat about, you know, Tone Vays had me convinced not to touch Ethereum because it was a security and would be wiped off the face of the earth by the SEC. Obviously that didn't happen. But are these governance tokens sort of playing by the rules or at least passing a Howey test? Do you think that's why the sort of new class of token has emerged, so to speak?
It's a tough one. So what is happening in a lot of like these models is that like when the ICO came in place, there was like an entity that was like issuing the ICO, and then like they were going on like, oh, the tokens is decentralized, it's not our responsibility.
Or
And
it,
then,
or
like,
it had a utility and therefore passed the Howey test.
well, before actually there was like when the first like few waves of ICOs came in place, there was no regulation in place, so everybody was doing whatever they wanted. Then the government started putting up like, no, there is the differentiation between utility and security, and so everybody started being like, oh, this is a utility, even when it was not. Let's be honest, we have examples of things that went not exactly in the good way. Now, what is happening, obviously, is like the tech is taking like the untouched area of the blockchain, which is obviously like all the smart contracts, the decentralization, the pure decentralization aspects on that, and be like, you know, it's a smart contract. Nobody owns that. It's sitting there on the blockchain. There is nothing happening at all.
Yep.
And that's it. We can't do anything about that. Now, the next step that started happening is that like the governments or like the financial people started going after like the individuals, the coders, and all of that thing. So what happened now is that next step, there is always that the rush between like tech and regulators in general. So now what is happening is that like a lot of these like entities as smart contracts are actually issued by foundation. And so there are these foundations that are being created, and then like governments tokens are issued from there, because the foundation by law cannot own assets, can only own assets, but cannot manage those assets. You cannot run a business or anything like that. So it takes away the liabilities from that side. Now, is a government token a security, yes or no? At the moment, no, because nothing happened. But let's keep in mind that like a security is defined as a financial instruments that carry voting rights and obviously a possible reward and an economical value on that.
Yeah, you're basically buying it with the intention that you're going to get a return off it.
Exactly. So here you have 2 out of 3 of the things that will make it security. Does that define that as a security, or does that define that as a new category of financial instruments? It seems that at the moment it's going to be more on the others. But if they introduce also like the fees, so your token, it's a government token, plus is also giving you like a percentage of the volumes that are being issued and so on, well, then it's a 3 out of 3. So I'm not the person in charge of defining that, but to me, if they add that, it's a security, to be honest.
Okay. Don't do that, Uniswap.
Yet.
Yeah.
Solve the things first and then do it, so everybody are going to make tons of more money.
Okay. Look, it's been a pretty amazing week on the show, hasn't it, guys? Things have certainly come to life, putting it mildly. We just want to reiterate that, you know, we're really enjoying making this show. I've obviously come from my Bitcoin background. As you can tell, I'm asking some fairly stupid questions along the way. I hope you're learning something. We want to hear from you as well. So let us know any questions you've got. Get in touch. Jump into our Discord. Put some comments below the video. We're here to help. It's not financial advice. You've got to do your own homework, without a doubt. We're really I guess probably the main thing I'd personally like to leave you with today is effectively what Stefano said to me when I wanted to bump up how much money we were putting into our personal wallets here. Is no, the show should be about having these small amounts of investment. A lot of that is obviously coming via these donations. You know, we're playing around with these projects on a weekly basis, showing you what can be done, even with a small, you know, with $100 in most of these scenarios. Crypto is early. If you were watching this, you are still very, very early. Get in, try things out. You don't need a huge amount of capital to do that. Uniswap is the absolute perfect example of that. You know, you said to me the other day, Stefano, people that couldn't even get a transaction to go through will figure it out. You know, they got a couple of $1,000s worth of that token sitting in a wallet now, and many of them probably don't even know they have still.
Sure.
Yeah. So listen, Jordan, we'll go to you for sort of closing thoughts on what's been an extremely interesting episode.
Yeah, crypto, man, it's crazy times. Early days still, I think. I just sold my staking rewards for BONK right now. Bing, confirmed. I'm happy. $1
I'm
each.
buying a Lambo.
Yeah, man. No, this is on the competition wallet. It was 136 bonk for 0.4 ETH. And that's not even touching the initial that we got.
Oh, that was in the competition wallet.
Yeah.
Not bad. I have mine staking on Pump. I need to see what they're doing over there.
Yeah. So that's complete. I still have the initial initial investment that we were given.
Yeah.
So that 0.4 is just from staking. And that's been, what, 4 weeks now? This is episode 4.
Yeah. Excellent. So, Stefano, before you give us your closing thoughts, just one more thing from me that I forgot to add. Obviously mentioned it earlier. You know, I'm still learning a lot of these aspects of this industry, what we can in fact do with these different projects. Obviously now with BONK, we will be going through a hand-holding exercise with myself. These guys are going to, once again, talk me through really simply and basically what we can in fact do with that token now. So tune in for that. Subscribe to the channel. That'll be up in the next couple of days. Stefano, closing comment from you, sir.
Well, it goes like pretty much to like what we're saying like across the entire episode, and it's true. We're still super early, and I would just like to share that like, for whatever reason, the first time that it happens to you that, you know, the bank might ask you questions on a transfer, the job is not going good, you're complaining for whatever reason that it's a tough market situation for whatever things, you know, you always like feel yourself that like, oh, I need to transfer money here. I'm always like never getting to the end of the month. Getting a bank account is very complicated. Like, the first time in your life that something like that is going to happen, just keep in mind that blockchain could be a solution for that. And we have said that in so many times, but more than ever, really, just give it a shot. Just dig in. The only thing that you need to do is putting some effort to learn.
Yep.
Nothing else. It's really just like you against your laziness. And to me, it's a no-brainer, and I know that everybody's different on that, but really, you know, people that just like try for once ended up like with what, $1,200 on uni, or like whatever they got in return when they sold that.
Yep.
People are making like $5, $10, $20 a day playing games. You got like these tokens that are doing like a 2, 5, 10x in 24 hours. Like, there is so much happening that is so intense, but you really don't need capital. And everybody keeps telling like, oh, the big money, the big amount, this and that. It's not true.
Yep.
And it's super cool as an industry. So like, just give it a shot. That's the only thing.
Well said, sir. I've couldn't say it any better. That's excellent. So look, on that note, everyone watching, we really hope you're enjoying this content. I'm certainly learning a lot. I've been in the space for a number of years now, and I'm really learning a hell of a lot from these two guys. So massively appreciate you two boys making this show with us. And we really enjoy making it for you. So we'll see you all in the next couple of days. Thanks very much for watching. Bye now.
Take care.
Later, dudes.
1 BTC and 32 ETH.